Okay, what we're doing today is we're removing the instrument panel on this 1986 Chevrolet Corvette. It's a digital instrument panel, and on these cars, they've been known to black out and come back on and black out and go crazy, and I kind of want mine to quit doing that because I need to know what the speed is and what the temperature of the car, of the oil, and all the amps coming out of the alternator and all that stuff is. It basically tells you everything that's going on with the car. This part that we're pulling out is the digital dash. There's two big black squares right there. Those are the tach and the speedometer. The one in the middle has a bunch of different gauges in it. So we're removing that, and we're going to replace a couple of diodes in there. And those are LEDs. And what we have to do to remove that is take off this bezel, this right here, this whole thing that goes around everything. We have to take out this, and there's two panels underneath here that need to be removed. There's a few screws holding that one on the bottom there, and then this one here has a couple of nuts that needs to be removed. So we're going to go ahead and start tearing that out, and we have to drop the steering column. That's the whole deal. There's two bolts holding the steering column up, which are keeping you from being able to access the two lower bolts that hold on the instrument cluster. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that and get that removed so we can go ahead and install those LEDs on the digital dash. The tools you will need for this job are 3/8 ratchet driver, small screwdriver, extension, small extension, screwdriver, big screwdriver, magnet, and one of those little sets, like little cheap $5 sets you can buy off of anybody from the parking lot. Used to be able to. But those are the tools that we need to remove this digital instrument cluster from this 1986 Chevrolet Corvette. Okay, we have the instrument cluster out. This is what the back side of it looks like. And this is the front side. This is the odometer. This is the odometer. This is the speedometer. And then there's some gauges up here. Fuel, water temperature, oil pressure, and voltage. And then over here is the tachometer. That's how it looks. If you can't get this far, if you can't get this out, then I just go ahead and recommend a Corvette specialist to do this for you. Okay, we have the instrument cluster removed from this 1986 Corvette, and how we got to that part to remove it was we had to take off this kick panel right here. This is the one you have to take off first. There's actually a couple of plugs on this courtesy light right here that need to come undone. And then somebody installed this kind of toggle switch right here that we don't know what it was for, but we just left it installed. Here's a couple of screws that hold that panel on. This right here is a diagram telling where the wires go on the courtesy light once we reinstall it, just to make sure we have the wires in the correct position. Here's what it looks like when the instrument cluster is removed from the dash. There's the wires down there that go into the courtesy light, as well as that toggle switch that I just mentioned. And that's the panel that needs to come down before you can drop the bolts on the steering column. And the bolts that are holding that up, there's a couple in the front, which are little small nuts that are just holding it. And the big ones that you need to remove are, I think, 13 millimeters. And those are right there up on the dash. There's the big one that holds the steering column in. And so we have the instrument cluster at a place that is repairing it right now. And I was hoping that I could do it myself, but I was not able to find the correct size diodes to replace. So I went ahead and took it to this place in Denver that ships it to Seattle. And then once they get it repaired, then they ship it back to Denver. The lady already called me yesterday to tell me what the price was to repair and rebuild that instrument cluster, and it's $500. So that was a big ouch. But I need to have the digital dash working. If this car is going to be any fun or enjoyable to drive, I need to know what the speedo, the tach is saying, the temperature. I need to know all that information. So I went ahead and gave her the okay to get it repaired. So we'll have that installed again coming up here soon. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and make this shift indicator on the console. We have to make it operate with the shifter. And then last time I had this apart, I had the heater controls removed. And those are right there. When I got it all back together, I noticed that that little light was not working. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that stuff since the instrument cluster's out. And then we'll go ahead and get started on this now.